Meanwhile, Peter was below in the courtyard. While this trial was going on upstairs, another one was taking place downstairs, outside, in the courtyard. Only the presiding officers in this trial were not the rulers of the Jews, not the nobles of the community, not the Sanhedrin, but this trial was being conducted by a servant girl who had no status and no power and no authority. She saw Peter warming himself. And she looked at him. She said, "You were with Jesus of Nazareth." But he denied it, saying, "I don't know. I don't understand what you're talking about." And he went out on the porch, further away from Jesus. And no sooner did he move to a greater position of safety, running now from this servant girl, the rooster crowed. And then the servant girl saw him again and began to say to those who were standing around, "This is one of them. Look at him. I know he was one of them." And Peter denied it again. And still a little later, those who stood by said to Peter again, "Surely you are one of them. You're a Galilean, and your speech shows it." Then he began to curse and swear, "I do not know this man of whom you speak." The third time, he punctuates his denial with cursing. Now, we don't know. One of two things, perhaps both things, took place here when Peter denies him the third time with cursing. He could have just been using crude, foul language, saying, "Don't you hear what I say? Blankety blank. I don't know the blankety blank man. Never met the blankety blank guy." Or, as some commentators suggest, maybe mixed in with that were solemn oaths, appealing to God, saying, "I swear in the name of God, I don't know the man." Jesus was convicted of blasphemy, and in all probability, the one who was doing the blasphemy was down in the courtyard, Simon Peter. The second time the rooster crowed, and Peter called to mind the word that Jesus had said to him, "Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." And when he thought about it, he wept. Notice he doesn't say simply he wept. He didn't weep, friends, until he thought about it. Till he remembered what Jesus had said. And he began to contemplate what he had actually done. And then he was sick to tears. You know, people don't really feel the force of guilt when there's people around them. Usually the weight of guilt is experienced by people when they put their heads on their pillow at night. When all of the defensive gestures are removed and you're left alone before God. Then the truth pierces your conscience and it breaks your heart. This is Simon who said, "I will die with you." Jesus said, "No, you won't. You'll deny that you even know me. 3 times you'll do it." And that's what Peter did. And that's what most people do when they try to follow Jesus at a distance and to be a safe Christian. Beloved, when that moment of truth comes for you, that moment where you have to stand up and be counted, when you have to identify yourself as one who belongs to Jesus, you remember that Jesus said, "If you will be ashamed of me before men, I will be ashamed of you before my Father in heaven." I can't imagine anything more embarrassing than to stand in heaven and have Jesus say, "I'm ashamed of this man." To have Jesus look at me and say, "Shame on you." I pray that the grace of God and the strength of the Holy Spirit will keep you and keep me from ever doing that to Jesus.